Welcome to the Missouri Valley Conference Game of the Week preview show presented by Mercy, the official orthopedics and sports medicine provider of the Missouri Valley Conference. With Coach Casey Alexander, I'm Harry Schroeder, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. on your local Gray Media station on Matrix Midwest here in St. Louis, the Bruins will be hosting the Illinois State Redbirds. And Casey, thanks for joining us. You guys are 6-2. And I'd like to ask the coaches at this particular point, how would you grade your team versus how you thought they would be? Grade them out versus how you thought preseason.
Tough question, because I really had no idea how we would be. In my heart of hearts, maybe would I have taken 6-2? Probably. Would I like to have played a lot better in those 8 games? Absolutely. I think we've got significant room for improvement. Lack of consistency has been very concerning.
When you talk about that, and I look at your lineups, and you're using mostly the same guys night after night, but you've been shifting the starting lineup and that rotation a little bit. What is that part of that? You're trying to find that consistency, find how it's all going to work together?
Yeah, not so much throwing darts, hoping something sticks, but truthfully, I mean, I think we have, you can say a blessing or a curse. I think we've got 8, 9, guys that are starter worthy. We're just trying to find the right pieces, and it may change throughout the season. Again, what we've really missed is anything positive in the first half. If you look at our games to this point, I think we've trailed in 6 or 7 out of 8 games at halftime. We've had double-figure deficits, maybe in 6 out of our 8 games in the first half, and so we're just we're trying everything that we can.
When I look at your lineup, and as you mentioned, you've got a number of new guys. I spoke with Isaiah Walker in the preseason, got to know him a little bit, kind of the main veteran presence back. Talk about what Isaiah's been providing for you guys.
Yeah, he probably is the most consistent piece, and really it's been his strength since he's been here. I mean, he's one of those guys that we've talked about a lot, is just incredibly dependable with doing his job, and no superstar status, doesn't really have any particular skill that stands out, or is real heavy on the scouting report, other than the fact that he gets the job done and makes a lot of winning plays. So glad to have him here. He's the captain of our team, and has done a lot for Belmont through his years, and certainly so far this year.
Your 2 bigs that redshirted last year, Orm and Chernosky. Talk about them and their development and what you're seeing out of them so far.
Yeah, they've both played well in spurts, and not surprisingly to us, I think that Sam Orm has been really steady as a shooter. He's a really skilled player. He kind of stays in his lane. Truthfully, would love for him to step out of his lane every now and then and just go attack it and get it. Charnowski's almost the other way. I mean, he's 100% all the time. Really has made a lot of competitive effort plays. Has been, when he's been healthy, he's been tremendous. He was kind of devastatingly sick in the Air Force game, and then he missed the Oral Roberts game, and then he tweaked his ankle, and so he's just trying to find his niche of consistency. But both those guys have bright futures in our program. We're excited about them.
We're so used to watching Belmont recruit freshmen, watch them develop, maybe redshirt and then develop and so forth. But you've got 4 really prominent transfer guys this year in Peebles and Witt and Pierre and Lundblade. The new folks that are going to be able to see games on Gray Media, meaning they're going to have a different opportunity to see some Missouri Valley Conference games this year. Describe those 4 new guys for the people that maybe haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, well, first let's say that because we have those transfers, our current 3 freshmen are redshirting.
Yeah,
which we would consider a good thing. I think our 3 freshmen were all ready to play and quality players. It's not because they weren't ready; it's because we had more experience on the back end of our lineup. So, I think like everybody, the transfers bring a sense of experience, maturity, level-headedness, competitiveness that you just can't. It just takes a while to develop when you're talking about young players. And so now they're still, putting those pieces together and having everybody figure out what their role is and how to best perform in their role, how to elevate their role over time. Those are the things that, I've said a couple of times here in the last few weeks. We're learning more in one game than we learn in 1 month of practice, because it really reveals, who is going to, be their best selves when the lights are the brightest.
And so Lundblad, I think, is the current leading scorer, and yet he comes off the bench. Do players care about, man, I get to start, I get to hear my name announced in the pregame, or is that something that people like me think about?
Well, both. Uh, they care. I don't think it's a deal breaker or maker for anybody on our team. I think, I think we have the right kind of guys with chemistry and culture and just wanting the team to do well, that it's not nearly as important as it could be for some people. But we've used, I don't know, we've started 8 or 9 different guys so far, naturally, all of us coaches are kind of notorious for saying it matters a whole lot more who's in at the end of the game than it is at the beginning.
Sure.
And Lundblad has found himself in that situation a lot. He's been a real steady performer as well. A guy that didn't even join. We had 1 day left of our summer workouts in July when Lundblad came on his visit. It was a really bizarre kind of scenario how he showed up. It's a long story. I'll tell you some other time, but didn't even have a scholarship. He's a scholarship worthy player, but he's paying his way this year. And so a really nice break for the Bruins that he showed up and is helping us win games.
Yeah, no kidding. Two final questions. One thing you're looking at your team, man, we have to improve at this, and it might be the beginnings of games, it might be other things, but some of the things that you guys are working on to improve, and then tell us a little bit about how you take on the Redbirds on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think just in general, we need a little bit more killer mentality. Our guys are prepared. I think their hearts are in the right place. Their effort is good, but it takes something extra to be a championship level team, and kind of playing with an edge, having the energy, whatever you want to say. We're missing a little piece of that to this point in the season, and then if you look at Illinois State, it's exactly that we need the most. I've got a lot of respect for Ryan and that program in general. I think that they do play very hard, and they embrace kind of the physical side of the game and toughness aspect. You look at it with the way that even just starting with their point guard and Banks and how they love to ISO him with the ball and how he uses his body physically. I mean, those things that's the Missouri Valley, and they epitomize what this league is all about very well.
Casey, appreciate your time.
Enjoyed it. Thanks.
Hey, our Wednesday coverage begins at 6 p.m. Central. For more information on where you can catch the games, please visit mvc-sports.com. For the Missouri Valley Conference, I'm Harry Schroeder.